What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. This is my, I don't even want to say recap. This is my thoughts on Surviving R.Kelly. It played on Lifetime tonight, and it was 2 episodes. It's a 3-night, I think it's 6 parts. This was a lot, okay? Before we jump into this thought, go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. If you have subscribed, go ahead and hit the little bell so you can be updated on when I post new videos. And don't forget to follow me on social media. Alright, so my thoughts on the whole thing. It was very eye-opening. You know, there was a lot of stuff that we have heard of before. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know. And it was a lot. Okay, it was a lot. If you did not watch it, just be prepared mentally. You can't even be mentally prepared for it, but it was a lot. Okay, so it was basically people who encountered R. Kelly, and they started off with his early childhood, and they had 2 of his brothers there, Bruce Kelly, and I forgot the other brother's name. But Bruce Kelly is in prison, and they interviewed him while he was in prison, and they just basically talked about their childhood and said that R. Kelly was very shy, very reserved. He didn't talk a lot. He didn't go outside a lot. He was always in the house. And he was a very scary child. Like, if you flinch at him, he would jump. Like, he was a scary child. And I guess they just thought that was him. That was just him. Comes to find out that he was being abused from the age of 7 to about 13. He was being abused by a family member, and we know that R. Kelly has said that before. So he was being abused by a family member, and the youngest brother was also being abused from the age of 6 to, I don't really know how old it was, but he said that R. Kelly was the brother before him. So he said that he told R. Kelly that he was being abused, and R. Kelly basically told him that he wasn't, that was not what was happening to him, and, you know, just forget about it, basically. So how they portrayed him, and I understand, and I have to use what Ilia said, I understand the pathology. There you have kids in a household with a single mother, no father figure around, and they're just being taken advantage of. And this is something that happens in the Black community a lot, where shit happens within the family to a child, and adults who know about it, they turn a blind eye to it. And this is something very common that happens. And I don't know why is it that adults feel like they have to protect another grown adult and neglect the needs of the child. I don't really understand that. But R. Kelly was illiterate. He could not read nor write, and he admitted that also. And they said that, you know, he didn't have any friends. He was just by himself all the time. So as he got into high school, he started singing, and he started being in a choir and everything like that. And they even had his choir teacher there. His choir teacher even said that he was a prodigy. He was a musical genius. He could not read nor write, so he couldn't read music or anything like that, but he can hear it by the sound. He can mimic what he heard. So it basically just talked about him growing up and the fact that he dropped out of high school at the age of 17. And even the teacher said that based on his lyrics, they were sexually aggressive. And I feel like a lot of that had to do with his upbringing, being molested as a young boy, and never really, people don't realize when you are, when they do these things to kids, they are fucking them up to become fucked up adults. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes they turn out to be R. Kelly. So she said that he had aggressive lyrics in songs in high school, and she had to tell him, like, stop singing that because that's not appropriate. So when he dropped out of school, he started doing the music thing. He won like I think it was a Natalie Cole talent show or something, and he won grand prize along with his crew, and he got a music deal. Okay, so the whole thing about the young girls started very early, before he was R.Kelly. I heard Ashley Miller, who is on YouTube. If you do not follow Ashley, follow her. I've heard Ashley say, because she is also from Chicago, she has said that for years R.Kelly has been trolling high schools, you know, picking up young girls. I've heard her say this. And it reminds me of when I was in high school. Like I told you guys, I grew up in the Virgin Islands, right? And all my friends, when we were 15, 16 years old, all of my friends' boyfriends were older. They were either in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s. Young girls back home when I was in high school, and I don't even know if it's still happening now, probably so. It's just something within the black community that is not talked about. Young girls fuck with older men. Back home, like, the older men that had money back home were taxi men, taxi guys. They weren't like the regular cabs or whatever. They were like van taxi men. A lot of them would fuck with these older men because they had money. They bought them things or whatever the case may be. I have friends that got pregnant by older men. Older men. Some parents knew, some parents didn't know. It was just a common thing. And to hear that he was trolling McDonald's and high schools and stuff like that. Like, outside, when we used to leave high school, there used to be a bunch of older fucking dudes on the corner trying to call young girls over to talk to them. All the fucking time. But see, back then, we didn't notice that that was a problem. Because, oh, it's an older guy and he's cute and he's trying to talk to me. You thinking that you're doing something with it. But it was a fucking problem. They were predators preying on young girls. That's exactly what he was doing, according to everybody. And the people that he worked with saw this. They saw this demeanor. They saw this shit. They saw him picking up young girls, talking to the young girls. And they saw it and never said anything because they were working with R.Kelly. They saw it, oh, this seems like an issue, but I never said anything. So his former assistant, Demetrius Smith, okay, I remember his name. He was wrangling girls, young girls, for R.Kelly. He said that he would point out the girls and Demetrius would go get these young girls. But I didn't know something was wrong with that. And Demetrius' motherfucking ass would smile when he would say this. And I'm like, you basically are telling the world that you helped a fucking child molester wrangle up young girls. He needs to be in jail. He needs to be in jail because you are seeing this happening. You are helping this man and you think it's fucking funny? That shit was fucking bothering me. I was like, he keeps smiling and laughing and joking. And the other people, the other adults who are around, who keep seeing this shit, something feels wrong with this, but I wasn't sure. There's young girls there. There's beds. There's this and that. I wasn't sure. For years, they seen this and turned a blind eye to it. Alright, so they got on the Aleeah thing. So he met Aleeah at the age of 13. We all know that he was, she was his protege. I can tell you how I felt back then. Okay, Aleeah is probably like a year or 2 years older than me. I was a fan of Aleeah and I was a fan of R.Kelly. When Age Ain't Nothing But a Number came out, I loved the sound. I loved the vibe. I thought Aleeah was just like, she was the girl I wanted to be. Okay, she was beautiful. She had style. She just looked so fucking chill, right? She was the girl I wanted to be. And she was always around R.Kelly. Now, he was on Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. And they talked about him when he would make songs. He would make them pertaining to his life. They said if you listen to the lyrics of Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, it talks about an older man and a younger girl. Now, being 14, 15 years old, me singing this song in my house around my mom, all that shit, I never listened to the lyrics of this song. I never did. Because back then, you don't really listen to the fucking lyrics. You listen to the beat, you listen to the sound, you listen to just the groove of the song, but you don't really listen and comprehend the lyrics. I never did that. So when they say age ain't number, but the number was about an older man and a younger girl, it was about him and her. And I wasn't really thinking about that. I wasn't really thinking about that. They were always together. And I remember they trying to make it seem like they were related. That's what I remember this fucking day. They made it seem like they were related, right? And I was like, oh, that's her cousin. I think it was, they tried to spin it like they were cousins or something. So I was like, oh, that's her cousin. That's why he always around, blah, 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 blah. The VH1, not the VH1 Soul, the Video Soul episode with Big Les and, what was his name? I can't remember his name. But, I remember that episode, and they came out and they were dressed alike. And she said that was her best friend. And they asked them if they were together, because there were rumors that they were not really cousins, but they were together. And she said that's her best friend. Aleeah is 15 at this time, about 15 years old. R.Kelly's 20. He's 20 something years old. Ain't no fucking way a grown man is going to be my best friend at 15 years old. So it was a little unsettling. It was a little uneasy. But back then I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think anything of it. Then there were rumors that they got married. Didn't believe it. I said, why would a grown man want to marry a child? That was my thought. I thought it was just a rumor. Back then we didn't have the internet. We couldn't Google shit. We didn't know shit. We read what was in the magazine, what was on MTV, and that was it. But we didn't know if it was true. I didn't believe that he would marry her. Well, they talked about that. They said that he was with Aleeah. And one of the backup singers that he met also at the age, I think, 16. She said that she helped Aleeah with her style and trying to make her more sexy and stuff like that. And she was the one who said that Aleeah and R.Kelly were fucking on the tour bus. Now, Aleeah's not here to defend herself, and Aleeah's not here to discuss any of this. So the fact that Aleeah had to have been brought up anyway, because this is when we found out R. Kelly was, well, the world found out that there was something wrong with him. So Aleeah had to have been brought up. But the fact that she said, oh, they were fucking on the tour bus, I felt like shouldn't have been said. The fact that her parents came out and said, well, you know, that was a lie. We're around our daughter 24/7 and that didn't happen. But your daughter married R. Kelly. So you weren't around her 24/7. And I think that's what happens with a lot of these parents and a lot of these kids, because the parents, it's like he makes them gain his, like they gain his trust, or he gains their trust, and they allow their kids to hang out with him because he's a celebrity. Their kids want to sing, yada yada yada. He's gonna look out for them, but all the while he's grooming these kids to do what he wants them to do. Aleeah's mom came out and said they were around her 24/7. Sis, I'm sorry, that's not true, because your daughter got married to R. Kelly and your daughter was pregnant by R. Kelly. That came out. I didn't know. Aleeah was pregnant. They got married. She forged her age on the signature. Demetrius Smith, who needs to be locked the fuck up as well, said that he created the fake documents and put her age as 18. He was a witness to their wedding. And he's smiling and laughing. And he said, in looking at Aleeah's eyes, she looked like she was crying out for help. But this man didn't even help her. He said, I feel like she wanted me to talk to her. I just didn't talk to her. You see how all these adults are failing these children? All these adults are failing these children. These children are children. And they are, he said that this girl was like, felt like she was crying out for help, and he just did nothing. You know, he thought their relationship was cute. He thought it was cute. It was just so sickening to see how many people failed her. How many people failed her. They got annulled. Their wedding marriage got annulled 2 months later, and he paid Aleeah $100 fucking not to press charges. $100. Yo, let me tell you something. This was a lot. They showed a lot of the women that they're women now, but a lot of the young girls that he dealt with. There were some that he met in malls. I remember one time I heard that he met this girl in a McDonald's, and they talked about him going trolling McDonald's and shit. He met this girl at McDonald's, and he started fucking with her and got her pregnant. She was 15. I remember this years ago. He started becoming this big superstar, and with this big fame, he was noticeable, and people noticed him, and he became this sex symbol for every woman. And there was this one girl he met in Miami, and she noticed it was him in the mall, and he had his bodyguard give her his number, and she looked, I don't know, she's Hispanic, I don't know what her from where, but she started fucking with R.Kelly. And I'm sitting back, I'm like, where are the fucking parents? Like, where are the parents? But a lot of these people, in my mind, sold their kids. A lot of them sold their children. Because this man had fame and money. And he probably enticed them with the fame and the money. And they just allowed their kids to go with this grown man. They interviewed R.Kelly. Now, Andree is his wife, well, his ex-wife. And Andrea was a dancer with R.Kelly and his band. And he wanted to marry her. And she said that, you know, when they first started talking, he asked her to teach him how to read, teach him how to write. And she basically was nurturing him like his mother. And this is an issue that a lot of us face as black women. We have this nurturing ability. We feel like we have to nurture a man to make him grow into the man that he's supposed to be. This is a fucking problem that a lot of us face. I've been there. Trust and fucking believe, I've been there. She said he started to become controlling to the point where people, like with the band and stuff, couldn't talk to her anymore. Like nobody would speak to her. He told people not to speak to her. She said that he changed her phone number a couple of times. Her mom tried to contact her while they were on tour. Her mom could never get her because R.Kelly kept changing her phone number. She said one time they went to Arizona or something, and he had somebody do a banner in the sky proposing to her. The guy came down with the ring. They went to the hotel, and R.Kelly set up an entire wedding. A surprise fucking wedding. This girl family wasn't there. She didn't have no dress. She had no input in this wedding. He created an entire wedding, and nobody from her side was there. And that was a red flag to me, because I'm like, okay, I don't know if she knew, and I think she knew about these young girls because it was not a secret. So you still married him thinking that you could change him, and then you're surprised that he starts treating you like one of these people. And all this while, he is still in a relationship with this 17-year-old girl he met in Miami, the Hispanic girl, and she has no clue he's married. A year later, she didn't know he was married. She said that he started mistreating her and keeping her in rooms and in studios, and she couldn't leave and all that stuff. And then she said that she caught mono from R.Kelly. And the mono developed into something else. I don't know what the disease is. It developed into something else. And her whole body was paralyzed. She was in ICU for 2 weeks. And R.Kelly gave her mama $1,000. And she never saw him again. He never called. He never came. He never, nothing. She basically moved in with him. A child. She moved in with him. She got sick. She got to the hospital, ICU. He gave her mama $1,000. He gave Aleeah $100. So it's like when he would fuck up, he would pay off these people pennies on the dollar, to be honest. He would pay off these people this chump change to keep quiet. And that's what they did. And the thing that was crazy was R. Kelly's brother, Bruce, the one in prison. I hope they keep his motherfucking ass locked up, because he's sick as well. He said that R. Kelly liking younger girls is not a problem. It's a preference. Bruce likes older women. R. Kelly likes younger women. What's the big deal? The big deal is R. Kelly is going after children, which is illegal. That's the fucking big deal. They need to keep that nigga locked up. Put some extra charges on him, something. Because he condoned a lot of this shit. And then he said something that rubbed me the wrong fucking way. He said that he was surprised when R. Kelly married Andrea because she was not his type. She wasn't his type. I'm surprised he married her. She wasn't his type because she was a grown woman. That's what he was saying. He wasn't saying that she was unattractive, because Andree is not unattractive. But he said it because she was a grown woman and R. Kelly liked them juvenile, okay? Man, this was a lot. This was a lot. And then I started thinking about other celebrities, okay? I started thinking about, like, when you watch back in the 90s, when you watch these videos and you watch these music videos and stuff like that, imagine how many of these girls were underage. Hell, I think Superhead was underage. I think she was like 17 when she started doing the videos and shit. Like, a lot of these girls were underage. And then, okay, so I saw that they tried to get in contact with Jay-Z and Lil' Kim and Mary J. Blige and Erykah Badu to discuss the R. Kelly thing. And John Legend was the only celebrity that decided to speak up, because John Legend realized the fuck shit that was going on. So, let's not pretend. I love Jay-Z with all my heart. He's one of my favorite artists. But let's not pretend that Jay ain't been doing some fuck shit too. Because Jay started fucking Foxy at 15. Okay? Jay and Foxy were fucking. Allegedly. Okay? That was not a secret. I heard that a long time ago. Okay? He even sent out a tweet a couple years ago where he said that he was eyeing Beyonce when she was 16. 16 years old. Allegedly. Okay? Like, this is something that keeps happening in this industry. And people don't want to fucking talk about it. They just put that shit on the back burner. Alright? Now, my encounter was not sexual by any means. But I kind of, looking back at it, maybe it was weird. I don't really know. And I don't even know if I should tell. It was not sexual by any nature, but I met the celebrity when I was 17 years old. Big celebrity. We met. I was starstruck, you know, in the islands. We don't see fucking celebrities. I was starstruck. He gave me an autograph. Then it was nothing. Saw him the next day. He remembered me. We talked, chopped it up or whatever. Saw him the following day in the club. He came over. He had 2 girls on his arms. He had bodyguards and everything. Came into the club. He saw me. He came over. He hugged me. I was 17. He was an adult. His bodyguards and everything, they stayed with us. And they were buying me drinks, buying my friends drinks and shit like that. We 17. Okay? I had a friend with me that was 16. Buying us drinks and stuff like that. His bodyguard tried to talk to me. Now, the person knew how old I was, because the first time I met him, I told him my age. Because I had just made a birthday, I told him my age. And, you know, every time he saw me, what's up, T? You know, he even had a nickname for me and everything. I saw him back to back for 3 days. Now, as a 38-year-old, as a 17-year-old, I didn't think that was, you know, I was like, oh my God, a celebrity, he knows my name. My friends are like, everybody was like, oh my God, how do you know him? I didn't know him, but because I saw him 3 days back to back, we kind of built a rapport. And, you know, when he came and he hugged me and everything, and people were like, oh my God. And I was like, you know, feeling like the big shit in charge. I was in the club. I just felt like the hot shit. At 38, looking back at it, it may have been a little inappropriate. I'm not even gonna lie, it may have been a little inappropriate. But back then, you see a celebrity and he's like paying you some sort of attention, not necessarily sexual, but paying you some sort of attention. It's like, whoa, oh my God, he's talking to me, and like he hugged me, and people see me with him, and you know he's buying me drinks and shit like that. And at 38, that shit is a fucking problem. And that's to show you how normal that shit is. How normal it is in the black community for older men to prey on younger girls. I'm not saying that I got preyed on, but I'm just generally to prey on younger girls. And especially with, if you have some sort of notoriety to yourself, it's like, oh my God, they like a girl just saw the second coming of Jesus in your eyes, some shit like that. So it was very, very disheartening. It was very disheartening watching this. It was stressful as fuck. I was on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna go back on Twitter tomorrow for the other parts. But Andree Kelly, she said, you know, he changed. He became evil, and he would lock her in the rooms and stuff like that. And Sparkle, who was his artist, if you do know who Sparkle is, she was one of his proteges. Sparkle had joints up she had a bobbing joint, first joint she brought out, and it was with him, R.Kelly. And she said that she was in his house and they were watching TV, and she heard a tapping on the door, and she kept hearing this tapping, and she was like, somebody's tapping. And he said, yeah, and it was Andrea trying to come out the room asking if she could go get something to eat. And Sparkle's like, I was shocked because she had to ask him to come out the room to go get something to eat, to go use the bathroom. So he started treating Andrea like he was treating the underage girls like a prisoner. She had to call him daddy. She had to perform sexual acts. She couldn't talk to nobody. She couldn't do nothing. He kept her as a prisoner. And Sparkle has been with him for years. She's seen all the fucking girls come through. She's seen all the bullshit come through. When Sparkle started talking about her niece, she said she introduced her niece to him when she was 12. She said she would bring her niece around. She said her niece was an aspiring rapper, and she brought her around, I guess, to kind of like so Kels can help her or whatever the case may be. And she said she didn't think anything of it. You know, he would like part of her family, you know, and this was her niece, so she didn't think anything of it. And she said that as her niece got like 13 years old, her niece, Sparkle will go to the studio, and R.Kelly and her niece are there by themselves. She didn't know her niece was going to be there, and she felt that was weird. She didn't understand how her niece got there, and her niece would say, oh, well, he's having, you know, some kids over, and he's gonna have a party, and yada yada yada, and, you know, mommy and daddy dropped me off, or whatever the case may be. He was grooming that child. And Sparkle's story don't seem right to me at all, because you have been around R. Kelly for many years. You have seen the little girls come and go. You've seen, you've heard, you've heard. Okay, fucking girls in the bus, fucking girls in the studio, whatever. You've seen all of this. But you brought your 13-year-old niece around this man and allowed him to just take her. She'll be safe with him. Like, that shit don't make no sense. So either you were pushing your niece up on him, or you fucking stupid. That's my opinion. Because I don't know how you can tell me. I've seen him fuck little girls for many years. But my niece, he won't do that. Because she's my niece. What make you special than any other bitch? I was like, either her parents sold the bitch, or, I don't mean to call the child a bitch. I mean, she's a grown woman now. But either her parents sold her, or they just didn't give a fuck about this girl. So there was another girl. She was around 17, 16. She moved in with R. Kelly. She said, you know, she told her mama she was gone. And she said that she moved in with R. Kelly, and he would take her to award shows and so on and so forth. And she started having threesomes with him and some other girl. And they would do it in his house, and he would record it. He would film it. And She said one video she started crying because she had to do sexual acts to the girl, and she said the girl seemed like she knew what she was doing, she knew the procedure, she knew what was going on. And R.Kelly got mad, said that he can't look at the video after because the bitch was crying. So I think she said they were in a van going somewhere, her and a bunch of different girls. And the girl said, who she made the video with, that when she becomes 16, she wants to buy a car. And the girl said, well, aren't you 16? First she said, aren't you 16 or aren't you past 16? And the girl said, no, I'm 15. And that was Sparkle's. I'm assuming that was Sparkle's niece. That's when it cut off. It's going to resume tomorrow. But that was Sparkle's niece. So I believe that she knew that the girl was underage because she was underage. All the other girls in the bus were underage. So she was acting shocked. She said, I was appalled and I was shocked that she was 15. No, you weren't. Because you knew all these girls that he fucking are children along with you. So why are you all of a sudden shocked that this girl was 15? Let me tell you, this R. Kelly thing, I grew up with R. Kelly. His music was the soundtrack of my life. There's some memories I have tied to a lot of R. Kelly songs. And after this shit, I don't think I can listen to a R. Kelly song without thinking or listening to the meanings behind this shit. Like, I don't think I can. I don't support him. He needs to be locked the fuck up. I would be surprised if R. Kelly don't commit suicide after this. I'm not even lying. Because this would damage anybody. And the thing is, the message is that a lot of people need to realize is you need to protect your children. Okay? Because R. Kelly was not protected and he turned out the way he was. Aleeah was not protected and she turned out how she, so you have to protect your kids. Do not turn a blind eye to the cries of your children. Do not turn a blind eye for these adults who are having their way with your kids. And that's something that black people tend to fucking do. You have that one uncle that molests your kid, but you don't talk about it. You just make sure you watch him a little closely so he don't be around your child. Like, why is it that you are so comfortable protecting adults, but little innocent children that need the protection, you ignore it? And then the shit becomes a fucking cycle. This was a lot, okay? This was a lot. I said, I don't know if I'm going to deal with tomorrow. I don't know if I could, but I will. Y'all, let me know what you thought about this 2-part episode of Surviving R.Kelly. Let me know what you think down below. This is an issue in our community that we need to start talking about, because there are a lot of kids out there that are being taken advantage of by adults, and other adults do not step forward. All these adults that work with R. Kelly that saw this shit, that are on camera saying, oh, well, I knew it was a problem, blah, blah, blah. Never went to the police, never talked to the parent, never did anything because of that money. This is a fucking problem. So, y'all, I'm spent. I'm done. Let me know what you thought about Surviving R. Kelly. Let me know if you're going to be watching it tomorrow. If you will, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is below. Y'all, let's talk about this. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.